Hello everyone and welcome back to another All You Need to Know video, the second one of the day. Of course, if you've not already checked out the All You Need to Know on Ogo Obi, the other latest Maidstone United transfer, then of course it'll be in the corners somewhere for you to check out after you've watched this video. But of course, in this video we are going to be discussing Maidstone United's second latest signing, I suppose you could call it. They're announced at the same time, so it's how you want to look at it. We're going to be taking a look today at Conor Kelly. Now, Conor Kelly is someone who is a very interesting prospect indeed, has had a very, very bright start to his career at Maidstone United in pre-season. 3 games played so far, and he is impressed in every single one of them. So we're going to take a slightly deeper look into our new player today. He is, of course, as we'll be able to tell from pre-season, a central midfield player primarily. Can play a little bit more advanced from what I can find online, and looking at some of his previous games and highlights, does like to get forward a little bit more than he does get back. That's not to say he doesn't do a bit of both though, which we'll get onto later on in the video. But he is 24 years old. He is 5'10" tall and can play with both feet, which is of course very good to know, especially in those midfield regions. Is something I will continue to press on about every time I do an All You Need to Know signing and they tick this box. It's so crucial to be able to be very comfortable at playing with both feet, and although primarily right-footed, as we'll see in pre-season, plenty of long-range passes being played with that, he's more than capable of that interlinking play and some deft touches on his left foot as well. So a lot to look forward to in that regard. Someone who has impressed me with his close ball control, his ability to beat a player, his acceleration as well away from an oncoming attacker or defender. Looks really good in that aspect. Now, he was born in Fulham. He's actually born in England, if you didn't know Fulham was in England. But he was here up until the age of 7 years old, moved to the States and went to New Jersey. And just over 16 years later, he's come back. And the main reason for that is, of course, as you would have seen in his announcement interview, he wants to challenge himself. And this is one of the big things for me. He's someone who isn't really comfortable with the system in America, as it seems. He's come to England because he enjoys the challenge, he enjoys the prospect of relegation, he enjoys the prospect of promotion, he enjoys that, that competition, that dynamic that we find so desirable in English football. It's the not knowing. It really is the not knowing. Everybody thinks the team's going to do well and wants their team to do well, but at the end of the day, you don't know if you're going to end up down the bottom of the table or up the top. It's just how the season goes, and that dynamic is something very treasured here in English football, something I'm sure Conor is more than aware of and seems to be chasing very much so, and hopefully Maidstone is that platform where he's going to be able to experience promotion. Now, let's take a little look into his history. From what I can understand, now you're going to have to bear with me here, my understanding of the US soccer system is quite poor, to say the least. I've had to do about an hour's research and I still don't really get it, but I think they have very short seasons. As Conor said, it's not really any playoffs or promotions or relegations, anything like that, and they have quite small team leagues categorised up by states and counties and things like that. From what I could find in 2022, which I think was the last season they played, I think they have like 6-month seasons, 4, 5, 6-month seasons, starting in the summer, ending around the winter time. In 2022, he played 15 games, scored 7 goals and got 2 assists. So averaging a goal every 149.1 minutes for those who are counting. And that's pretty good. A goal every other game, near enough. Averaging an assist relatively regularly as well, every 5 to 6 games, if you break it down into minutes, which is quite impressive too. But for me, what I want to take a little bit more of a look at is the prospect that he is and has been, and a few of his achievements in the past as well. So he has played for a few different teams in America. This doesn't really mean too much to me because I'm not familiar with college football and things like that. There may be some, of course, who are watching this video and might be able to explain a little bit more, but the few teams he's played for are Cedar Stars, Monmouth, Blue Devils and NC State. Now, in his time playing for these clubs, back in the 2015-16 season, he actually ended up scoring 13 goals and getting 12 assists for Cedar Stars. Now, I don't care how many games you play, 13 goals and 12 assists is pretty impressive in one season. He was top 4 goals and assists at his club in that season as well. And in 3 years at Cedar Stars Academy, he got 32 goals, and that is the highest in their academy history. Now, that's pretty good to me. That sounds quite good. If you ask me, I like a goal-scoring midfielder. Obviously, we've got that in Devon Aaron Sibiat and Sam Corn, but having someone else who can help us change things up a little bit if times get tough, may even be fine for that first team position, is top-notch recruitment for me. We need people who are going to be able to contribute to output and effectively contribute to our defensive structure as well, which again we'll get onto in a moment. But for me, one of the biggest achievements of his career so far is actually what I've found here from a college sports news source. Back in 2017, he was ranked the 47th best prospect in American college football. Now, that might seem quite low, but I'm assuming this is a national kind of ranking. This paper, this journalism outlet does do a ranking across the nation of America. And there's a lot of people there. And if you're 47th best prospect, you're pretty bloody good. And to be fair to him, he looks it now. He looks really, really good. He looks very comfortable in a team that he's already very new to. I'm not being funny. He's just moved country, presumably just moved country, playing in America last year. And already he's showing a lot of key attributes that are going to help him succeed in English football. He's very quick. He's got a fantastic passing range. Very comfortable using both feet. He's very, very technical on the ball as well. And looking back at some of his clips and highlights from games in previous years, he's also pretty good at set pieces, and we saw this as well against Folkestone Invicta. That assist for Solwanjal Smith come from that deep free kick, hooked into the box. Sol was able to convert and get us a goal from that position. Now, really, really good signs there. Really, really influential is how it seems at this moment in time. Today, at the time of recording, at least, we played Lewis, and a lot of people are putting that argument up there of him being man of the match. Was involved in a good couple of the goals, not direct assist, but certainly a key contributor to that build-up play, and that's what we need. A lot of times players like Conor Kelly go under the radar because they're not notching up the goals and assists which everybody looks for, but they're the assister to the assister. They're so instrumental to that build-up play that without them in the team and players like that in the team, attacks don't get strung together. And I'm more than happy to have someone who is assisting the assister every other game, because without that, like I say, we're not going to see those goals that are going to prove very pivotal for us next season. Now, in terms of what more he has to offer us, well, from what I've seen just in pre-season and looking back at some clips of his, as I mentioned, he's quite an attacking midfielder, but he's very box-to-box in his play as well. Not afraid to track back, not afraid to put a challenge in. A couple times he did lose the ball in that midfield area against Folkestone Invicta. Within a second, he's turned around, he's running back, lungbuster to try and help defend an oncoming attack from a mistake that he made. And I really like that about him. I really enjoy the type of player that he seems to be. Very charismatic, very energetic, very, very high tempo player. And for me, his signing interview is a very key indicator of the type of player we've got. He's come to England to prove himself, to challenge himself, to chase that feeling of promotion, that never knowing, that wanting to be the best, wanting to achieve more, wanting to level up in his career. And this could be the place to do it. Maidstone, of course, are quite a likely prospect for promotion next season. Maybe not outright title winners, but certainly playoff contenders. And having someone with that drive in the team when the going gets tough is important. Now at this stage of the video, I will typically take a look at the reviews of a player who is joining Maidstone United. However, I'm not well versed in traversing the realm of American university soccer, and unfortunately I couldn't really find too much in terms of comments from ex-clubs and things like that on Conor's move from the States to England. However, I did decide to check elsewhere. I went over to Conor's personal Instagram, checked out his latest post announcing his move to Maidstone United. It's got over 200 replies, all of them positive, every single one congratulating him on the move, overwhelming levels of support from friends, family, fans of where he's been playing in the past, and that for me is an incredible show of support. I know that's a highly common American thing to do, get behind the hype and things like that, but I'm all for that. You know, you've got a bright young player who's doing a very, very, very important thing for his career in taking a leap of faith, moving abroad, traversing a new realm in terms of everything really, league structure. The entire game is going to be different over here. He's not too familiar with playing men's football by the looks of things, so it is a completely different world for him and a whole new culture to learn, absorb and become a part of, and hopefully he's going to be able to settle in really, really well. Now, if you watch my Ogo Obi video earlier on in the day, you'll know that I asked Ogo 5 questions which yourselves and myself would hopefully like to know the answer to. Now, I did ask these 5 questions to Conor Kelly as well, and he was more than happy to answer them. However, I also asked him a slightly different proposition because of your response to a question I asked on the Maidstone United Facebook supporters group, which was, who would you like to see come on a podcast? And instead of getting him to answer those 5 questions for this video, instead what I've done is invited him on the channel, and hopefully we're going to be seeing that come up soon. If everything goes fine in terms of his availability and my availability, and all's good with the club and things like that, then hopefully that's something we're going to be able to see happen, and that's something I'd really, really like to do. Got so many questions I'd love to ask him as well, and hopefully you do too. So if things do go and we get the all clear to go ahead and make that happen, then you'll be seeing a brand new off-air podcast episode in hopefully the next couple of weeks, with Conor coming onto the channel to speak to myself and you guys as well. So something potentially to look forward to. Of course, don't want to put any pressure on Conor. You know, it's just a proposition there. The door is open. The door is open to any player who wants to come onto the channel, but I just had so many people private messaging me about getting Conor on the channel. A lot of people seem to be interested in his background, his story, his journey from America, and I completely agree. So message to Conor. Hopefully we can get that sorted out. We can arrange something together for the channel and for the viewers, and a message to all other Maidstone United players as well. If you want to come onto the channel, you want to promote yourself, you want to promote the club, you want to promote anything that you're doing, Maidstone fans want to know more about you. They want to know more about your journey. They want to know more about your time at the club and your ambitions in your career and for the club as well. So do feel free to just drop me a message on social media and we'll get something arranged. So that is my open invitation to absolutely everybody involved with the club there. So hopefully if you have watched this All You Need to Know video right to the end, you have enjoyed it enough to leave a like and a subscription down below. I just want to say one more time, thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you do enjoy, and I'll catch you next time.